Hello, welcome to another episode of Houston. We have a podcast. On today's episode, we got a few different things going on. We are going to be doing some reviews of recent movies, Army of the Dead and Nobody. And we are also going to be revisiting a previous subject we talked about pandemic movies. As instead of talking about pandemic movies, we're going to pitch our own ideas. And so for that, we brought back the guest that we had on that episode, and we also have a new guest joining us. So I guess first, our returning guest, Mena, from our pandemic episode. Welcome back. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for inviting me.
And our new guest, Nick, will be joining us. Nick, welcome to the show. And as we always do, we ask our new guests to introduce themselves to our audience by telling us a movie character in a movie that represents you as a person. What did you come up with?
Well, hello everybody. Thanks for having me, guys. Really excited to be here. Yeah, I had I don't know. I picked Jack Black from the movie The Holiday. So the character from that movie. I don't know if you guys have seen The Holiday. He's like this jolly guy, like hopeless romantic, really into movie scores. I'm really into movie scores, so I just felt like that was an appropriate pick for me. I also picked a movie to describe myself. I chose As Good as It Gets. I feel like it's like a reimagination of what you want in life, and just rethinking it throughout your life, and deciding that this is as good as it gets. So, and it's a great film. So, yeah.
When you say Jack Black's character is into movie scores, do you mean he's into like movie soundtracks or he's into movie ratings?
He's no. He's into movie soundtracks.
Okay, because I'm really into movie ratings. Assigning scores, putting them in spreadsheets, that type of thing.
I'm the dude
Carson's not
like...
joking, by the way.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, no, I'm the guy who's like watching the Oscars for like the best original score nominations. So that's what makes me go to the movies.
So that's an interesting, this is sidebar conversation, but I started looking through like the most recent like Oscar soundtrack winners because I think I had it pointed out to me that like Interstellar never won best soundtrack, like something else won that year, and then like Hans Zimmer's won like nothing since like the early 90s, and it just feels like one of these categories where like some of the best people in the biz never actually win the award.
Yeah, totally. That's why you always look at the nominations. He was nominated for a whole bunch of them,
Mhm.
but doesn't always win. I think that's the case for a lot of Oscar wins, though. Like even Best Picture, I find there's a lot of upsets all the time. You can't always go by the who wins, I find.
Leonardo DiCaprio, he's never won. Like I think that's like a famous example, right? Also depends on who you're competing against that year.
And the one he won for is probably not his best.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right, so the first segment that we have here, we're going to be doing a couple movie reviews. So first movie we're going to talk about is Army of the Dead, Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. We recently did a review of Zack Snyder's Justice League on this show, but now we're doing his latest movie. Paulo, I know you're into zombie movies. What I want to talk about before we actually talk about the movie is what were your guys' actual expectations for this movie? Because we haven't talked about this too much at this point. I know, Paulo, you're into zombie movies. I don't know if you were actually thinking this one was going to be good or not. So that was the question I had for you guys first.
Well, I'll start off because I for everyone listening, they're not privy to our WhatsApp conversation leading up to this episode. But to answer Carson's question, I was very excited for this movie. I even opened a bottle of wine and made a charcuterie board to watch it. But I mean, my expectations were how do I put this? Like, they were met and not met at the same time. I think like as excited as I was, I knew, like, maybe unconsciously I knew that there would be things that I wouldn't like, or not that they would ruin the movie for me, but like just little needles that would poke at me while I'm watching the movie. But I mean, I'll go into that later. I mean, I enjoyed it as a fun thing to watch when there's nothing else. I'm probably gonna watch it again. I mentioned earlier talking to you guys that like I tend to watch a lot of shitty things more than once. Not that this was a shitty movie. I mean, Carson probably thinks it was, but I mean, it's like it's just right up my alley. Just like a kind of a dumb, fun movie that has some cool action. The zombie element, which I feel like there weren't really any zombies in this movie, but again,
Yeah.
we could talk about that later. But yeah, I guess that's how I felt about it. Just yeah, I don't know how you guys felt coming into it.
Yeah, I had very low expectations. I mean, I wasn't really I'm not really a big like zombie fan of movies. I get it. They're their own genre. And just I watched the trailer before watching it just because I like to watch the trailer before watching movies. And yeah, I think the trailer kind of, you know, made the movie justice. It was a zombie movie, and it kind of delivered in that, but it never went beyond that, which is I mean, which is what I like to see in a movie. It's when a movie pushes the genre envelope. I wanted to see parody, I wanted to see comedy, I wanted to see more of that kind of stuff. And I didn't really get that. And I thought we were going to, you know, you see the tiger in the trailer, and you're like, oh man, cool, this is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a great film. And yeah, I was kind of really let down.
And Mina, how about yourself? Like, what kind of expectations did you have for this movie?
Yeah, so I didn't have really high expectations for this movie, although I do like zombie movies, so I was easily satisfied. I would say I did like some things. I guess without going too much into spoilers, I think there's some unique things that they did. While some things are pretty cliche, but it is a zombie movie, and you know you only have so much space to work with. Um, what I did like actually was some of the cast. So like I actually liked Batista as like the main character. Like I know, I thought he did pretty good in that role. While he's not a great actor, like he just like fuck shit up. So that was great.
Big badass guy.
Yeah, and the guy who plays Ghost from Amari Hardwick. I googled it. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like I just like watch him be a badass in different things, and he delivered in the zombie movie too. So yeah, all in all, it was a zombie movie. I think it was a little bit above what I was expecting because I was just expecting another one, but they did do some things a bit different. What I kind of liked. Yeah.
So my expectations were contradictory to you on one point, and that was about like the casting and who was in the roles. Because the way that I was seeing this going into the movie was either this movie, like the only avenues that this movie has to being good is one, you love all the characters and it doesn't matter what the story is because the plot's pretty generic, and it's just like you love these characters, so you're okay with just watching them do what they do. The other avenue is it has really cool zombie action and it's just like badass visuals type thing. And I didn't like. I looked at the cast and I was like, okay, I like Dave Bautista in supporting roles. I didn't think he was going to be able to hold down like a lead role. So I'm like, okay, this is not going to be. And I didn't know who any of the other characters were. So I was like, okay, I'm probably not going to enjoy it from that perspective. So let's hope it looks good and has good action. And like, I'm a Zack Snyder fan, and he, if nothing else, has good looking movies. So I figured at the very least it would be good looking. We'll talk about that and the actual delivery of that. But the one thing I was really worried about going into it was like this idea when you make movies of a certain genre of like you always have to ramp up the action. Like when Zack Snyder did Dawn of the Dead, he had like it was one of the first movies where they had the fast zombies, and so it's like okay, they'd have like smart zombies in the trailer and they have like tiger zombie and like oh no, there's just going to be like escalation. So I was worried about where that was going to go, but I was thinking like okay, I just hope it looks good. And that was my expectations for it. So let's open the door for what we actually thought about it.
So straight into spoilers as well, right?
Yes, full spoilers.
Yes. So if you don't want to hear these, skip 20 minutes ahead.
Time code's in the description.
Is it? Do you do
I do that sometimes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sometimes I say I am and then I don't, but usually I am.
Okay. Well, I feel like it was like 50% what I had hoped for and 50% dragging it down because what the things that I did hope for, which Zack Snyder did, were also like ruined by certain things. Mostly about the plot and the characters. I think maybe those are my main complaints. Like I think I'm gonna disagree a little bit with Carson here about the visuals. I think the action was kind of cool. Like the zombie tiger was fun.
Yeah.
Although it was like that stuff was kind of ruined by like the action. I want to say not making sense, but it's like it's hard to explain. Like the zombie. Okay, let's start with the zombies because I feel like those made some sense because they weren't. I mean, they didn't make sense if you're thinking about zombies because you have the fast zombies, but then um, these were like ninja zombies,
They
which are like
explain, they explain the rules, if you will.
yeah,
Right? They
yeah,
talk about the alphas and what happens,
yeah. But I mean, like, so I get that, like, they're smart and they still eat people, so they're zombies. But like, I don't know, maybe I'm just being like old, like an old man shaking my fist. But like, these aren't my zombies. Like, they were just so far like advanced that they weren't. They just didn't seem like zombies to me anymore. So I mean, that's a small gripe, I guess. But like out of that, there was like some cool things, like the main alpha guy putting the helmet on so they couldn't shoot him in the head. Like, okay, cool, he's smart. I feel like I enjoy it better not thinking about them as zombies.
I liked the aesthetic of
Yeah.
it, of like how they looked, but I do want to separate how the world looked and how their CGI looked from do you know how to focus a camera? Because the movie itself looked terrible just from like a camera perspective, and I don't know why. I just like Zack Snyder's really good at stuff like that. But the zombie like design itself I liked, and I liked the smart quote unquote zombies.
The tiger zombie. The tiger zombie was cool. I haven't seen a movie with a tiger zombie before. If there's any out there, let me know. I just don't know.
Actually, sorry,
Yeah.
really quick. We've talked about one in our previous episode. It's like a the Asylum studio. Like they make all these knockoff shitty movies. So like there's Pacific Rim, so then they made Atlantic Rim. There's
There's not heard of this.
oh my god. Okay, so they made like a zombie movie, and at the end, their like big finish is a zombie tiger that fights like Ving Rhames, and his big quip to the zombie tiger is "meow, bitch."
That's amazing.
Spent a good like 20 minutes on that in our last episode. Sorry, continue.
I was just gonna say, for me, yeah, like for me, the biggest issue with that film was the plot. They spent. I mean, the movie's way too long. First of all, it's yeah, for what it was. They spent so much time hyping up the villain, or what you expect the villain to be, which is the zombies. They explain them and how there's a hierarchy and how they're treating this town as their kingdom, and you're really, okay, they're gonna go in there, they're gonna rock some zombies, and they do that. That's great. But I find that as soon as they went in, the villain of the movie changed all of a sudden. Now it was, holy shit, there's going to be a nuke and we have to get the hell out of here as soon as possible. And the zombies became the back end. Now they were still there. They were still like a deterrent to getting to the goal. But now the biggest villain was the nuke. And I feel like it just completely changed all of the characters' motivation. And I lost interest in the movie like completely. I didn't care what the big guy, like the guy with the metal head did anymore, because like the whole point was, oh shit, we have whatever, like 10 minutes to get out of here, or else we're all gonna die. So the zombies were not as, I don't know, as much of a threat anymore, which is just, I don't know,
You didn't
missed
care about
opportunity.
you didn't care about the lady that Dave Bautista's daughter went in to find in the first place, who doesn't even
No.
show up at the end. Like she doesn't even check to see if she's okay after the helicopter crash.
They didn't even like. I get you're supposed to like want that and you're supposed to like her, but like I know like they didn't do enough of that. It was just, yeah, again, missed opportunity.
No,
Yeah,
I know. I'm just kidding, because like
Yeah.
I remember I was saying like I get she's like worried about her dad, because spoiler alert again, Dave Bautista is like getting zombified, but then even after he's dead, his daughter, sorry, plot point that we haven't explained, his daughter goes into like zombie Vegas to find her friend who has like to save her because she has kids and she needs to support them, and then at the end they've like escaped in the helicopter, and she talks to her dad, and then just it cuts no, like you don't see the lady on camera at all. You don't know if she's alive or not, and that's the whole reason why she was like half of them were in there.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was funny.
Yeah,
I
maybe it'll
thought
help to
everyone
like.
was supposed to. Sorry, go ahead, Carson.
I was gonna say like maybe it'll help to like chunk this movie out into the different parts so we can talk about whether we like them or not. First thing I wanted to ask you guys about was about like the mythos of the zombies or the rules of the zombies that they presented. Like that was one of the things that I was saying I kind of worried about going in. I actually liked it a little bit more, but like just the idea of zombies being smart, like the rules that they had, the world, like how did you guys feel about that?
Yeah, a little bit like what Paulo said. I felt like they weren't really zombies. They were a bit too smart. They were organized. It felt like they were like it even said like this is their kingdom and you have to give them a sacrifice in order to enter their kingdom. And I felt like that was we're not dealing with zombies at that point. We're dealing with some other monster, and that's I mean, and that's okay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it just it takes away from the like brainless, zombie trope that we're so used to seeing in zombie movies. It's different.
I expected to agree with that because like I agree with like especially I've talked about Godzilla versus King Kong and those movies for so long of like it works so much better when a villain or a monster like that is kind of like a mindless device that kind of is a plot device and pushes the characters to do other things. And that's how you think of zombies. Like zombies aren't characters. Zombies are a thing you're afraid of. There are things that heighten the action. And it's like, oh, okay, are we going to try to like make them into a character? But I actually like I'm not going to say I liked it, but I didn't hate it. And like why was the main zombie wearing a cape? Doesn't matter. I still like the visual of it, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
I like
and I
that
was like,
too.
I also like that they didn't explain it because it's like they presented a newish world of zombies. They told you enough information to understand what was going on in the movie, and then they didn't feel the need to explain too much more. Because like if they would have gotten in like really big detail on like that main zombie, I probably would have stopped caring. But it's like, okay, here's some detail for the background, enough for me, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the fact that the main guy he's not really a zombie. Like, yeah, he's some other monster that can create zombies, right? Like that's how I see it. And like how there's these alphas and they dress up and they have like the queen is like has jewels on her head. Like clearly they're more sophisticated, if you will, than like a regular just like eat me zombie, like
Well,
which
she
I,
was,
I kind of like that though. I kind of like that they try to like take your traditional zombie and like tweak it a little bit. That's probably what I actually enjoyed.
which
But
is it. Yeah, that's fair. Like I appreciate the difference. I like because I'm on both sides of the fence where like I like zombies. Like I like how I know zombies, which is like the shambling. Sometimes they're fast, fine. Um, but then like ninja zombies, okay, we're kind of getting away from the border. Or
Mhm.
but at the same time, I appreciate that it's different. Um, and it, like so Carson, going back to what you were saying, like so you're all about the little conversation at the beginning of the movie with the two army guys. They're like hauling the zombie cage or whatever, and they're like, "Ooh, we were coming from Area 51. So what do you think we got back there? Like it's maybe it's aliens, maybe it's which is like throughout the rest of the movie, it's not like explored a whole lot, but there's like hints because like some of their eyes are blue or that's not explained. There's all these other rules about like this one can turn others into alphas, but like some of them are just regular. Like you how did you feel about that stuff,
I was
Carson?
okay with there being more out there. Like the idea, like you said, like the blue in their eyes and the blue that comes out when you shoot them in the head. Like they were hinting that there was other stuff going on there, and I'm totally okay with that because they didn't hinge the story on it. Like they kind of just presented some details and they kind of let you think about it. And clearly he wants to make a lot more movies and explain those things. I hope he doesn't. I hope he just leaves it at this because that's more interesting for me. But I didn't. I mean, that scene sucked because those guys are weird conversation, but the idea of it I didn't hate. And I feel like
I
I'm
didn't.
defending this movie way more than I thought I would. I want to mention I did not like this movie at all.
I actually that's one of the parts that I hated the most. I feel like it started off a certain kind of movie. I felt like it was like an army commando movie, that first scene, which I was like, all right, this is what we're going with. I hope that carries out through the film. And then all of a sudden we turned into no, this is a heist film. And then it's like, oh no, wait, now we're going to be adding zombies. Oh, and there's a nuke as well that you need to dodge. I felt like it was constantly trying to find its identity and could not land on something. And I find that first scene was like kind of didn't start off well. It was too much like Whiplash for me.
The first scene with like the army guys.
The army guys, and then like them transporting the zombie. I get that we're trying to do like trying to fill in backstory and whatnot and provide a story for the zombies, but I felt like the whole style of that first part was completely different from the rest of the film, and I don't know. I think that's one of the reasons why. I mean, I okay, fair warning, I did not watch this film like from sitting down all the way through. I stopped it like a few times, so maybe I'm a little bit like biased here, but that's I kind of felt a little bit like the movie couldn't quite keep up with its own or decide what it wanted to be.
While we're on the topic of world building, how did you guys feel about the scene where they found the bodies of themselves?
I felt like I didn't think that was really supposed to be themselves. I thought it was just like he's kind of like seeing, oh, this it kind of looks like us, but not really, just because he's like freaking the safe cracker guy out. Like so I mean, sorry, for context, Omari Hardwick is having some like pep talk with the the German safecracker guy who's like kind of a wuss, kind of a sissy, who like screams at a girl every time he sees screams at a girl, screams like a girl every time he sees a zombie, and then he's like, wow, maybe this is just we're going in a time loop. And all these bodies you see here is us, and we're just doomed to repeat history. Something like that. Doesn't really matter. It's never carried on, but I just thought it was like the safecracker freaking out. It was like kind of a nothing burger. I mean, it was fun, it was cool, but
I thought it was that there was like another team that they had sent before them who then just died, and then they probably tried, like, I thought that, I didn't think of it that much, but I know.
Yeah, I think it goes with the like blue eyes. I think it's something that happened that wasn't really explained or didn't get carried through at all, which is again missed opportunity. But I didn't really like this film. Sorry, I only have like bad things to say.
So Carson, you think that's like, you think the sequel is going to be built on that or something?
I can't. I think it was more of a thing than was actually presented in this movie. I think it was a setup for stuff. Like, it was pointed out to me after I watched this by a number of different reviews that this movie is basically a remake of Aliens, which I have not seen Aliens for like 20 years, so I didn't catch up. I didn't catch that when I was watching it. Usually I hate references and stuff like that, but and maybe I'm giving Zack Snyder too much credit, but I almost feel like he was trying to go for a thing where you have these action stereotype characters, and like, I don't know how to say it, but in like Cabin in the Woods, how there's like a government agency that like creates this scenario for like kids to do like the whole horror thing. It's like I almost wondering if they're creating a world where like these action stereotypes are a singular person that they keep re-putting into the same type of story over and over again, and that it's going to be like the next movie Dave Bautista is going to be put into like a different type of story where it's the exact same thing that we've seen in every other action movie ever. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but
I think we need to get you in touch with Zack Snyder, because I don't think he knows that he's making that movie.
but it's like
That's a cool concept, though.
they had to have had a thought when you put that in. Like, you don't just, and maybe I am giving these people too much credit, but why put it in if you didn't have an idea in the first place of where you were going with it?
I feel like it was his attempt at giving Omari Hardwick a character. I'm going to be even, which is weird because as one of the people who actually did enjoy the movie, even though I'm bashing it, I'm going to say, like, yeah, I think it's just like it's a thing, like, because when they finally reach the safe area or like the vault area, I feel like that's when Zack Snyder tried giving all of the Dave Bautista's team like some story, because like the Latina lady all of a sudden was like, "Oh, I love you," like near the end. I don't know if you remember that. And then right after that, she gets her neck broken, and like the safe cracker is like talking about how much he loves safes. I don't know, like each person on the team started getting their own little thing, just in that one area, but then that was it.
And then
So
they
like,
died.
Yeah, usually you do that at like the beginning of the movie to make people care about your characters, and then you take them through a story, not like take them through a story and then try to establish them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like the whole like bodies resembling them was just kind of like adding to what's Omari Vander something,
Vanderbilt.
adding to his character before before his character's done.
So that one scene where all of a sudden they reveal the love interest between Dave Bautista and that woman utterly failed as like a dramatic moment, but
Yeah.
Right?
succeeded in adding to the hilarity of what happened immediately after it.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, and I know it wasn't supposed to be. Maybe that's like, I think I enjoy this movie because I took it for what it is. Like, like I had no expectations, so I'm like, oh, she professed her love. She's gonna die like right away. When they talk about the nuke in like 2 days, I'm like, okay, like that's gonna happen. Like that's gonna be pushed up. Like I saw all these things. I'm like, predictable, but like I still enjoyed it.
But
Okay.
you're there to watch Dave Bautista be a badass,
Yeah,
right?
I'm there to
Emotional
watch.
badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there to watch like zombies get shot up and everyone dies. Like that's what I want to watch.
Did it succeed in that regard then?
Well, everyone died except for the one character.
Well,
I
sorry,
think
not
was
the everyone dies part, but like the action. Were you all
Yeah,
three of you, were you satisfied by the action?
it was okay. It was like I give it a 7 out of 10 for action. It could have definitely been better, but
Yeah, I wasn't really watching it for action, to be honest. I expected like this. I was hoping this film was going to be like a Shaun of the Dead type zombie movie, where it was more of a parody than a serious zombie movie. And you mentioned like Cabin in the Woods, which is like a parody of horror. I really wanted this to be a parody of zombie movies, but I don't think it really landed. Do you guys think it landed? Like, do you find that it was like self-aware and kind of in on the joke with us,
I think
or
one character was, but which is Tig Notaro's character, which I
yeah,
think most
yeah,
people would agree is like one of the better characters in the movie. I wish every character would have been
I
like
agree.
her.
I agree. I completely agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
which is
she was the
ironic.
best.
Which is ironic because they all like hate her in the movie. But yeah, like when you going back to the action, I would also give it a 7 out of 10, but for different reasons. Like this is me beating my dead horse of zombie ninjas, but like the action is cool, but I don't expect to see like the raid type choreographed fighting with zombies when you're like Dave Bautista's in the vault and then the alphas break through and they're like throwing punches at each other and they're like doing all this like karate like kung fu shit.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
like that is the exact moment when I was like, these are not zombies. Like this is it's cool. They're fighting, but like it's not zombies. And then the only other main gripe that I had about the zombies is that, or maybe not so much the zombies, but like the action in general is like every shot was a headshot when they needed it to be. Even like Dave Bautista's daughter, who's like a charity volunteer and has never held a gun before, like she's like shooting at zombies with a handgun from like 100 yards away, and she's like nailing headshots every time. But then when they're like they need to be in trouble, she's like then she's never held a handgun before. That was like those were like my two main things, but other than that, like the action was cool and fun enough for me to enjoy the movie, especially like the whole tiger sequence. Yeah, it's cool. It's like I had to cover Faye's eyes, but it was fun.
I don't know. I thought that like going back to one of Zack Snyder's his only other zombie movie, Dawn of the Dead, the one scene in Dawn of the Dead where the fat lady is in bed and she like slowly dies and then like stands up and runs at people for like half a second. I don't know if you guys remember the scene in Dawn of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
That scene was probably more scary than everything that happened in Army of the Dead. And it's like it had no subtlety. Like it felt like one of those arcade games that you play at a bar where it's just like you shoot and then there's a little puff of red that comes out from people, headshot every time. It's just like there was no suspense. At no point did I ever care if a character was going to die or was worried or scared.
You know what's weird? The only time that I was worried that a character was going to die was the first girl that died with the like the Latina gangbanger
Chambers. Her name was Chambers.
Her
yes.
name was. Oh, Mina knows her name was
'Cause
Chambers.
She had the longest fight scene
Yes.
Of-
Yes.
in the
like,
whole movie. It was like her, and she mows down like.
Yeah, of like an unnamed character, and like halfway, so she's like she gets double crossed by one of the guys that like sent the whole team to rob the casino, and then she gets led down like a dark path with all these zombies, and then her like struggle goes on so long for like at least, I don't know, like 5 minutes, to the point where like I'm like, she has no name, but I really want her to survive because she's so cool now, and then she dies right after, which is so like, it's so weird. I've never seen like a side character get treated with so much respect.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a scene they stole from Aliens. Again, I haven't rewatched it since I watched Army of the Dead, but I think they stole that straight out of Aliens.
I don't think so.
There's a character in Aliens that has her exact same like handkerchief on her head.
Oh, like the
really?
bandana,
Yeah.
and she's like badass girl, but like she doesn't really have like a whole like martial arts sequence, like a old boy hallway hammer scene type sequence.
I will agree that's the best action scene in the movie.
That was the best action scene though, for like a girl
Yeah.
who was in the movie just to be a red shirt, just to be there, so none of the main characters die too early.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna keep her alive just because she was such a badass, and like she was gonna but no, the plot was not that deep.
It goes like, all roads for me lead back to the ninja zombies, where like again, it's cool, but I think it was just ruined by Day of the Dead, which has Nick Cannon in it, and I think it was the first time I ever saw a ninja zombie. If you don't know what I'm talking about, actually I can't say watch it because you shouldn't watch it, but it was the first time I ever saw like a very smart athletic zombie.
Yeah, one of the scenes that I liked the most was probably right before that fight scene with Bandana Lady, and which is when I think they were in a like cramped hallway or like some kitchen, and they had to be really quiet and they had to get really close to the zombies because they were all sleeping or something, and they had to like inch their way and like crawl and then make sure to not hit them. That was cool. They like actually, it was the first time that I was like, okay, they're building tension. Great. They never really did anything because once they woke up, she just rocked them all for the most part. But like, yeah, yeah, and then of course, like the whole character as a zombie just kind of blew up, and we all, all I cared about eventually was just like the nuke. So, which is again, it's just
Not the point of a zombie movie.
not the point of a zombie movie. Yeah.
Are you guys? Would you watch Army of the Dead 2?
No.
Yes. I would watch it just like it's like not out of any love for Zack Snyder or for Army of the Dead 1. It just like, it's a zombie movie and maybe it's cool. I might like it. I think having cool moments in the movie, like headband lady, or like Tig Notaro being funny, the helicopter pilot, like stuff like that is usually enough for me to enjoy a movie, as long as the majority of it is not shitty and boring. So I would watch the second one.
I don't like zombie movies, so I probably wouldn't. But yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? Like, it is good fun. It was an action movie. It did what it kind of promised it was going to be, or at least it met my expectations, which were low in the first place. So, yeah, if I feel like, on a rainy day, yeah, I would maybe put it on and have it in the background.
I said no because I just don't want them to do a sequel to this. It's just like if they do a sequel, all the characters are dead. So like, what is the point? But I would watch another zombie movie just because I like zombie movies in general. So I'm like the opposite of like Nicholas, I guess. But
they set it up to be a sequel, right? Like that guy.
yeah,
It's almost like there's definitely
who's gonna land in Mexico City, and he's been bit, and that's why I said I wouldn't watch it because I'm like, I don't want to watch Zombie and Murray Hardwick. I want to watch like other stuff, new people. I don't know. I just wouldn't want to see a continuation of that story, I guess.
Well,
but I'd like to see the action.
Yeah, I mean, if they make a second, like a sequel, at least you'll know Dave Bautista, as much as I love him, will not be the main guy who's the same main guy in every single one of his movies, like the troubled brute who's lost his family and is on a revenge tour.
So overdone.
Right. I feel, but like it's like him specifically, like Guardians of the Galaxy, Drax. There's a movie. I think it's called Bushwick. I don't know if you guys seen this. He's in. It's like New York, and like some hillbillies are like far right extremists, like try to take over America, and he's the same guy basically. Anyways, so
he's taking over for Steven Seagal.
But like
The Rock, kind of
more likable Steven Seagal.
Yeah, he's kind of like The Rock. It's like another Rock, but no. But Bautista always has his like family. He's like alone. He's like troubled. The Rock isn't always like that.
Brooding.
Yeah.
All right. Any last comments on Army of the Dead? All right. It's on Netflix. Go watch it or don't. We don't care. Next movie we're talking about is Nobody. So if you haven't seen Nobody, which is probably a lot of people at this point, this is a lesser known movie. Nobody is basically like John Wick if John Wick was like an older, out of shape man. Yeah, there's really not much more of an introduction I can give to that. The main guy is played by Bob Odenkirk, who plays the lawyer in Breaking Bad, and now Better Call Saul is the spinoff. I don't think a lot of you guys like heard of Nobody. Did you guys have any expectations? Did you know much about this movie before watching it?
I did not hear about it except through you guys. So, but I'm glad that you brought it up because I liked it. But yeah.
I saw an ad for it on my TV, but that was as far as I went, as far as expectations. So I kind of figured. I mean, just looking at like the ad, it was like the main character with a bunch of like fists kind of hitting his face. I kind of figured it was going to be like a fight-ish kind of guy going against the world, which I was kind of right, but yeah.
You could tell it was made by the same guy who wrote John Wick, or who made John Wick. It's like the action is so John Wick-esque. It's like even like there's a kitchen and like they come into the kitchen, you have to like kill them. It's like the first John Wick movie.
Wait, was it actually the same guy who did John Wick?
Yeah, I thought the author or the director, someone is the same.
It was written by the same person.
But
oh, cool. I mean, I got John Wick vibes as well. It's like I would describe it as 60% John Wick, 30% Kick-Ass. Because he just he gets beat up. Like he's supposed to be like an elite assassin guy, but he gets beat up during his fights. And then 10% like shoot 'em up. I don't know if you've guys seen that movie with Clive Owen.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a gun shooting champ, and he makes like all these traps. Yeah, with the carrots. Yeah.
I would say exactly what you said, Paulo, except the 10% I would swap it for Home Alone.
So shoot 'em up and Home Alone are like adult versus child versions. It's like Home Alone with guns.
Yeah. It's worth mentioning. It's worth mentioning when you compare it to John Wick that like Keanu Reeves is a very physical actor. He trains a lot. He does like a lot of his stunts. He does very good stunts. Those same people made Atomic Blonde. Charlize Theron also did a really good job of all the stunts in that. Bob Odenkirk is not that guy. He's very like his character in the movie is like somebody who's working like a dead end like 9-to-5 job. We're living like a boring suburb life, and he's the right casting for that role because he's not like it's like sometimes they cast these people as like, oh, somebody's like unsuspecting 9-to-5, and then it's like The Rock, and it's like that kind of kills the illusion of it. And it's like, okay, nobody's mistaking Bob Odenkirk for an action star, which I think is to this movie's benefit.
Yeah, I like that, but it's so weird because he's like scrawny and he's like probably short. Like I don't know how tall he is, but he's doesn't look that physically menacing. Yeah, here he is, like stab, stab, plate. You know?
That's the whole. I think that's the whole point, though. I think they wanted to put someone that looked like anybody, right? Nobody or whatever. I think they really wanted someone that they, 'cause, anybody could be watching this film and think, hey, that could be me, or hey, I could do that, and love that film because of it.
Yeah, and like at the beginning of the movie, like they take their time in the beginning, which I appreciate. Like there's a break-in at his house that he looks like he's about to do something and then he doesn't, and then he goes to track someone down and it's like he almost does something and he doesn't, and it's like if he would have come out and there was like a break-in in his house and he's immediately like headshotting people, I'd be like, okay, this is bullshit. But the fact that they ramped up to it to kind of like a bus fight that, and part of his character that I appreciated is like he was disappointed when he didn't get into a fight in earlier parts of the movie when he tracked down people who burglared his house. And then like there's this moment when he's sitting on a bus kind of feeling bad about the fact that he wasn't able to get into a fight, and then like these drunk Russian guys like crash a car next to them, and he's like, oh thank God, I get to beat someone up. And it's like by that point in the movie I felt like it earned that thought. Like I was on board with it, whereas if they would have
Mm.
done that sooner I wouldn't have bought into it as well.
Yeah, it was a bit too much on the nose. Like, I think his motivation for me, like, they build him up as, yeah, the break-in happens at his house, and then he gets, demasculated or whatever, emasculated because he didn't fight back. The cops on him, his neighbors like razzing him about it, his son's razzing him about it. He feels like a terrible person, a terrible dad, and then his motivation isn't actually to get back his things that were stolen, it's to get back his groove, right, or whatever. um and his motivation is to get back into the game, I guess, or whatever, or prove his masculinity or something. Yeah, that's my take on it.
I never understood like interpreted it as like he was wanting to get back into it because he was being emasculated because he didn't attack the person because they didn't have bullets in their gun. He felt bad for them. Like he knows who he is and what his career was in the past. Like I didn't think he was feeling emasculated. I think he just missed that part of his life, and he had committed to living a quieter life to let like his family grow up and whatnot, and he kind of didn't like that life choice and was looking for an excuse to break out of it. So I was interpreting it more as that, just as opposed to like trying to look manly again.
Yeah, I kind of got the same sense, especially because like as much as he cares about his daughter, he didn't start all that shit just for like a kitty cat bracelet. And like yeah, the at first the fact that he was like so confident about beating down the 5 Russian guys, yet he kind of got his ass kicked at the same time, and he got stabbed and stuff. Like it confused me because I thought later on, like it's revealed like he's a super government agent. I was like, wait, but why is he so bad? And then I realized, oh, okay, maybe he's just shaking off the rust, which then I appreciated even more, which is kind of cool. I really like this movie.
Can we talk about how he lost his family in the panic room for like I guess a few days while he hunted down the Russian mafia?
I think it
And
was
then,
like
and
a
then
night.
okay, and then they let him out, and then they're all just fine with it. And when they buy the next house, they're like, make sure it has a basement. Or I forgot what they say at the end, but you get the point.
Yeah, clearly his wife knew who he was before, so I was like, oh, I was understanding
Yeah.
that she was okay with it, but it's like, yeah, the kids were just like, oh, okay.
I understand the son because the son always he started off as like hating his dad because he thought he was a ninny. But then the daughter is just like walking through bodies of like dead Russians, and like she's like hearing gunshots and explosions and like, but she's fine. Well, I guess they never really show her again, but I'm assuming
She had her eyes closed, Paulo.
Oh, right. The smell? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sounds.
I think they knew better than to put too much of the family stuff into like the second half of the movie, because it's like
Yeah.
that's an important part of the first half to establish who he is, but it's like that would have really dragged it down if they tried to justify it, because you can't really.
Well, I
Yeah.
thought they were gonna get kidnapped at some point, because like there was my only complaint about this is that he's never really in trouble. Like he gets beat up during his fights, but there's never a point where like what's Yulian, the Russian gangster.
Yeah.
There's never a point where he has like the upper hand on him and he's like, oh, how am I gonna get out of this? It's like a very brief moment where they're all out of bullets, and then when he does that Claymore trick, which is fucking awesome. But like, it's there's no worry that he's gonna lose. Which I
I
mean,
I love that. I love that about the movie.
Yeah.
It was like it was a thing in the movie that was like kind of dangled in front of our faces the whole time. We were waiting for it. It never happened, which I loved it. It was different. Usually, I expected it too. I was expecting the like, oh shit, how is he gonna get out of this one moment, and it never happened. So, it just kept going. Like it was a great. The fight sequences were awesome, and it
Yeah.
kept its pace throughout the film, which I really liked.
I also like that they didn't have like a family kidnap or something like that, but I wish they would have beat him up a little bit more. Like you think of Charlize Theron in Atomic Blonde, and like she looks like physically beat up throughout that movie. It's like, even though she's supposed to be a badass, and it's like you feel the weight of it. And I feel like that's something that could have been a strength for the movie. Is like Bob Odenkirk's supposed to be like an everybody person, and he's not super Keanu Reeves action man. And it's like, okay, just beat him up, break his arm, like put some more like blood on him, just to like show that a little bit more visually.
because like yeah, the one like it's I understand that I this doesn't take away from the movie for me at all. But I feel like it just could have been elevated a little bit because like even John Wick has like a bulletproof suit. Bob Odenkirk or nobody is just like he's wearing his home clothes and he's getting shot and stabbed, but like he's totally fine throughout the whole time. And there's not a lot of struggle. I mean, he gets like again he gets beat up a lot, which is fine. I mean, it's cool, but I don't know if it's like tension that I'm looking for or like worry or conflict that he might not actually win. But I mean, the rest, everything else was so cool and fun that I didn't care that much. Like I enjoyed the ride the whole way through, anyways.
What about RZA in like an action role when he like
Oh.
snipes? I actually like I love RZA as an artist, so I'm really biased. But like I like the part where he like gets a triple headshot. He like turns the corner.
Felt like a video game.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, this is like Call of Duty.
I was okay with RZA, and I was okay with Christopher Lloyd in the senior home. I wasn't okay with Christopher Lloyd running around a warehouse.
Yeah, like old
Yeah.
man with the shotgun. Like, how is he doing this?
No recoil, like
He's a strong old man.
I
He can
guess,
control that recoil, I
It's
guess.
the old man strength. You know, you just get older. You just keep putting on muscle somehow.
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah, I really like Christopher Lloyd's character in this movie.
Yeah,
He was good. I would totally watch a movie with like an action film with like Christopher Lloyd kicking ass the whole time. I would that would be a great film to watch.
I feel like this was a better version of that movie Red that
Yeah.
with Bruce
Yeah.
Willis. I think
yeah.
Like
Morgan Freeman's.
retired and what was
Yeah,
it,
the
Sandler?
whole point is like they're all old and like they're not they're like fighting young assassins, whatever. This is like a better version of that, a more fun version of that.
Yeah, totally.
And the RZA like I think this is probably my favorite cameo of him in any movie. I actually thought it was when I heard his voice on the two-way radio, I thought it was gonna be what's that guy from The Wire? Like everyone's got to have a code guy.
Oh, the guy who plays Omar.
Omar, yes. I thought it was him. I thought that was his voice.
Oh, the scar down his eye. Yeah,
Yeah, but I was happy that it was RZA.
I know it's cool.
Overall,
This movie
sounds
is-
like positive
yeah.
reviews for most of us.
Yeah, I was gonna say like this is not like it's not like a zombie movie where you're like you're expecting like horror or tension. This is like it seemed like an action movie that like gradually built and then it delivered what you're expecting. That's why I think I liked it so much.
I don't know. I feel like the zombies were in Army of the Dead were better fighters than the Russian mobsters in in this movie.
100%. Yo, the
Yeah, no, I
zombies
like-
were dodging bullets though. Do you remember like the first scene? The guy they're shooting at him and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm like this guy's not a zombie. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked Nobody. Actually, I thought it was not good. I thought it was gonna be like a John Wick film, which I like John Wick, but I feel like there's so many of those movies being produced these days. I thought it was just gonna be one of those still, but it did something a little bit different, which I appreciated. So I liked it.
I think they're
Good.
making a John Wick 4 as well, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, definitely.
It's a cash cow. Why not?
Any last thoughts
I
on
watched
Nobody?
Loved it.
Highly recommend. I'm going to tell all my friends to watch it because it was so good.
Yeah, I
If you're,
watched it
if you're
again.
listening out there, watch this movie before you watch Army of the Dead, because if you watch Army of the Dead first, this is going to ruin it, because you're going to think Army of the Dead sucked in comparison.
All right, well, we will end off our review segment there. And we'll move on to our second segment, which is our pandemic movie pitches. So a few episodes ago, Mena, you came on. We talked about your, I guess, maybe like top 10, or I forget what we did, but we talked about all the pandemic movies out there. You kind of ranked them based on their accuracy and just kind of general enjoyment. And now for this episode, what we're doing is pitching our own movies. So I don't know if we agreed on criteria or not, but we've all come up with a movie idea related to pandemic. Some of these might relate to the current situation of the world with COVID-19. Some of them may not, maybe their own thing completely. I don't know what you guys are doing because we haven't told each other. But Mena, how about you tell us yours first?
Yeah, so thanks, Carson. Yeah, so I thought about this a little bit because, I mean, I like pandemic movies, having like, the scientific background I have. And I think, interestingly, COVID-19 has shed the light on another pandemic that we are maybe like witnessing. So the name of this movie that I thought it was called Stupidity, and it is the current pandemic that we are dealing with. And what it is really about is people who basically there's an airborne virus that turns people into zombies. Okay, so I don't know why, but I like the zombie part. So the way it works is there's an airborne virus, people inhale it, and then they become really stupid and complain about their rights the whole time. But they don't really become zombies. They just say like, "My rights, manager, my rights," and then eventually what happens is if you have a mask, you're protected from the stupidity. But if you don't, you become a zombie. But they're not like super smart zombies. They're not super strong. They're not even bloodthirsty. They're just really stupid. So they kill themselves by accident. And The Rock is the hero here. Okay, so now here comes the cast. So The Rock is the hero. He's trying to marshal all the stupid people to stop them from killing themselves. Then there's Lawrence Fishburne, who's the scientist, because I like Lawrence Fishburne. And he is trying to come up with a sort of cure to stupidity. Spoiler, at the end of the movie, there is no cure. All the stupid people die. and then what ends up happening is actually the world becomes a better place because all the stupid people have died and all the people that wear masks to protect themselves from the virus are actually saved. And then Lawrence Fishburne, at that point, decides to develop a vaccine to protect people as opposed to cure there's, just so you know, the difference between a vaccine and a cure. If you're sick, you got to cure you're cured. But a vaccine is to protect you before something happens, right? I think we've all learned about what vaccines do over the last year. So anyways, this is the plot that I came up with in my head. Although The Rock is really this good guy, so he's trying to save everyone. Here's the plot twist: is eventually he becomes so fed up that he just leads them all into basically a bridge where they all just walk off and they all drown. And they all drown themselves to death. And he's like,
Oh my
"Fuck it,
God.
I tried." And he walks away with like a shotgun on his back, and that's like the end of the movie.
What was the shotgun for?
Yeah, I don't know.
So
To
no
make him look
possibilities for
badass.
sequels?
But he can't. I don't know. Because he's The Rock and he looks badass with a shotgun. I mean, yeah, I don't have much else like detail for that, but it fulfilled my dreams of COVID-19 zombie apocalypse movie.
Nice. So is this like a comedy, a horror, or like?
Yeah, it's like a comedy, like more of like like Shaun of the Dead type of thing. Like it's supposed to be like a comedy horror.
Have you ever seen Idiocracy?
No, I have not actually.
So Idiocracy is a movie where what's his name? Luke Wilson plays a character who goes like 1,000 years into the future, and everyone in the world is just got dumb over time, and so like Mountain Dew has replaced water, or like their version of Mountain Dew, and Terry Crews is the president, and he just like has a machine gun, and he comes in and just like when people get convicted of something, they go to like a monster car fight and they get killed. Anyway, you should check it out because like some of this exists out there.
I would love to see
I
this.
recently rewatched that movie. It holds up quite well.
Cool. Thanks, Carson. We'll check that out.
I'm speechless.
Sorry.
In a good way. In
Should
a
I
good
give
way.
more detail?
No, I think you've covered all the bases that I would like to see in a movie from you, Mena. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's coming out soon.
I need to iron out some other parts of the plot, because I just had the beginning and the end worked out. I need to figure out the rest.
You need some financing.
Yeah, that's my work, maybe.
You need to leave it open for sequels, man. You can also have like one of the zombies like walk away, like surviving and off the cliff, Like
And
one of them opens their eyes, like last sequence, typical like
Puts on a mask.
right, yeah, learns, yeah.
Oh,
Or like the wind accidentally blows it onto his face, so he just like can't take it off because he's too dumb.
and it's
then
like
it
the
becomes-
slow progression of like the monkeys from Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
They slowly get smarter. I think we got something here.
Glad
I'm
you
not
guys
going
liked
next after that.
I'll go next.
it.
Actually, mine is very similar to that. Surprisingly, I think we're like on a similar wavelength. Okay, so for me, so essentially this is after COVID. So this is like about 30 years imagine 30 years after COVID first hit. So we're like 2050. A lot of money's been synced into like pandemic research and funding after COVID because all the people died. But this was mostly private money because there's been a upsurgence of like anti-science rhetoric happening. Okay. And that's grown exponentially over the years. So we're at a point now. It's really this task force that handles pandemics now is really the only last bastion of intellect that's happening in the world. That's where all the real scientists are going. They have their own academy. They have their own like university, so this is being and this academy, this task force is head by Jim Parsons. He's like the head scientist. He makes the decisions. They've killed off already like a whole bunch of outbreaks. They've stopped a lot of outbreaks happening, COVID-like outbreaks since then, unbeknownst to the rest of the population, of course, right? Because everyone's anti-science. None of that makes it to the news, but they're really saving the planet every few years. Until the most recent virus, and it's starting to make headlines. People are dying off. They're not really sure what's happening, and they've realized that it targets a really specific group of individuals. And these individuals, at first it was like, all the gang members and the cartel members. And they're like, oh, what's going on? And then it was the neo-Nazis, and then it was the death row like inmates that got down, and then the dropping like flies. The people who made abortion illegal in Alabama dropped. And there's a pattern. It was targeting assholes. So now Jeff Goldblum, who is a professor of ethics, is tasked to go to this task force and convince them to cure this and stop this pandemic. But Jim has decided not, because he's fed up with these anti-science people. And he wants them and these clowns and these assholes to basically be done with it. In opposition of that, you have this like political figure played by Christoph Waltz, who's like heading the like anti-science movement. He's like trying to be elected to president of the United States, and I'm going to call it The Cure. It's going to be my movie. So yeah.
I really like it. I really, really like it. I like it more than mine.
This has gone in a dark direction.
Yeah.
Mine
What
is
is
kind
it
of
stop it?
similar
Listen,
to
stop.
both of yours.
Well, mine's very different.
I don't know how we should proceed with this. So who was Jeff Goldblum again?
He's like a professor of ethics, so he was like tasked to go and convince Jim Parson that like he needs to stop this pandemic just like they've stopped all the other pandemics, even though Jim's already kind of like decided that no way, man, this is we need to let this run.
Okay, it's like a trolley problem. Not
Yes.
really trolley problem, kind of trolley problem.
It's like
Is this
drama.
told in the same format as what's that pandemic movie we talked about where Lawrence Fishburne is in it?
Contagion.
Contagion. Yeah, is this told in like the same like format of Contagion type thing where we just like
Yeah.
see all these examples of assholes dying?
Yeah, multiple stories happening at the same time. Yeah, jumping from one sequence to the next. Absolutely. Yes. Great idea.
I love it.
Let's make it happen.
It's
You
great.
got $50 million, Nick. Get on it.
I knew that if I was going to pinch a movie, I had to have Jeff Goldblum. That was like a requirement.
That was the one requirement.
I like Christoph Waltz as the bad guy too. He's
He
a really
makes
good.
great bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great, especially in like that type of like a political, like you know.
Yeah, like kind of
I
an
can
asshole.
tell-
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that. It's great.
I like him even better as a good guy. Sorry, unrelated.
I mean, Inglourious Basterds. Come on, like that's.
Yeah, no, I
Women-
mean, I'm not saying he's not a good bad guy. He's a great bad guy, but also, he's also good as a good guy.
I recently rewatched Alita and he's good in that.
He is good. Yeah. Alita's a terrible film though. But
Wait, Chris, you like Alita?
I've watched it like 3 times. I think it's a criminally underrated movie.
ugh.
Huh?
Maybe that's for a different
Oh yeah,
conversation.
sorry, we're going off topic.
This sounds like a new episode.
I didn't think that was a controversial opinion. I thought that was a shared opinion of that movie. I
mean,
I guess
it
I was wrong.
we're gonna have to revisit this. Yeah.
All right, Paul, you said yours was similar, so how about you go next?
I might as well, I guess. It's okay. It's similar themes, similar attitude, I guess. But I think my execution is different, so I got that going for me. So it stars Michael Cera and Scarlett Johansson. They're both patients in a hospital. They've been in a coma, so they don't realize they don't know what's going on. Like COVID is happening while they're safe away from everything. This is going to get a little convoluted, so I hope it makes sense. And bear with me, okay? I might lose you guys for the first little half, but just stick with it, okay? So it's my worst nightmare where like all the conspiracy theories about surrounding COVID are true. Like the masks and like the lockdown is like a form of the government like controlling us, and then the vaccines are like another level of like there's actually like malicious stuff going into the vaccines like that are making people like making people susceptible to like government control. So all the people obviously that are like following the rules are like falling victim to this to like this the to like becoming controlled by the government. And Michael Cera and let me go into the 3 aspects first. So like the vaccine, like when people get their vaccines, it like puts the little nanobots into your body, and like it lets the government send signals to you, so like you follow whatever they do, like buy this, buy that, whatever, kill this guy, sure, vote for this guy. But the side effect of the mind control robots are that like they make your mouth swell, so that's why they tell everyone to wear masks. And then they're telling everyone to lock down and stay home because it takes like a couple months for like to be out of the sun, because the sun will like melt the nanobots in your body. I don't know. I didn't think about that part that well, but like so all these things are like contributing to like people being controlled by the government. But unfortunate part is that it's all like good people. um, and like people like that are actually caring about each other and thinking like they're doing a good thing. They're like falling victim to the government, and then Michael Cera and Scarlett Johansson, two people who would like normally be following the rules. They're like they wake up in the hospital, and it's kind of like The Walking Dead, where like Rick wakes up in the hospital and everyone's like it's deserted. Like what's going on? And like the world is being run by people who are like free thinkers and not following the rules, but for to their benefit, so it seems. And then they realize like what's going on. They're like, oh my god. They catch up really quickly with the help of Sterling K. Brown, who's like an anarchist by the name of V. Shout out to V for Vendetta. And he's one of those like tinfoil hat guys who's like, look, I mean, I I care about people, but like you can't like the government is actually using this shit to control us. Like we got to get to Florida because it's the last safe haven because that's where no one was following the rules. So like they have to travel from Canada to Florida, and the big twist at the end is that Trump is behind everything, played by Josh Gad, and um
Gosh, Gad, nice.
and he put all this in motion while he was in office to like take over and make people buy his shitty steaks and like stay at his hotels and stuff because like he could see like he was going bankrupt with everything. Like he's swinging and missing with all his business ventures. He's like, I got to do something. I'm gonna be president. I'm gonna be president, and then I'm gonna control everyone with this fake with this disease. And then it at the end they finally make it to Florida because Trump is like the one like pressing all the buttons for all the people, and they like they make it or they show like they broadcast like him confessing. Like it's one of those moments where like they're recording him, like you know in The Negotiator when like he's holding down the button at the end of the Samuel L. Jackson's holding down the button of the walkie-talkie, and then the bad guy is like confessing to everything, but he doesn't realize like the walkie-talkie is going to the police outside. So like they put him on a camera and like or like they're like confronting him, and he like beats them up because he's like somehow some karate genius. And then like their last ditch effort is like they see a camera, like a TV camera pointing at him, and they're like, why did you do this? And he's so dumb that he's like, oh well, he doesn't see the camera, and he's like, yeah, well, you know what, it's all about the money, blah blah blah, all this shit. And then his like minions outside are like watching this and they're like, oh my god, he wanted to take our guns the whole time, and they like and he wanted to control us and everything. So then they come in and they like cannibal, like they just rip him apart, and then that's the end of the movie.
My only question is if Michael Cera and Scarlett Johansson are supposed to be romantically involved.
Oh, sorry, I completely left that out. They are supposed to be romantically involved because I know I know how everyone hates like a beta guy.
I feel like one of those needs to be recast.
Hospital? Like,
sorry,
go ahead, Garth.
like what?
So sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Did they meet at the hospital or?
Yeah, they like woke up around the same time. I don't know, like the coma machine turned off at the same time.
Coma machine.
Coke machines are maybe ventilators.
Zero understanding of the conspiracy theories I was talking about and any medical science.
It could happen. They could wake up from a coma.
Yeah,
in a few
it
months.
happens all the time. It's a happy coincidence.
Sure.
Plot device. And scene.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
Thank you.
There's definitely a theme between the three movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But mine is directed by M. Night Shyamalan because it has a little twist at the end.
The Trump twist. With Josh Gad as Trump. That's pretty funny. I could see that actually.
You'd have to dye his hair though, and like shave most of it. Sorry. Anyways, this is.
It's great.
All right. Well, my movie went in a different direction. My movie is titled COVID-29 Pandemic Wars. My movie takes place 10 years in the future. What happens in this world is it turns out that the world realizes that China did start COVID-19. And so what happens in the years following is that everyone, like Russia and US have like a counterattack of pandemic because they're like, oh, they thought China was trying to attack the world. And then eventually you get like all these countries start walling each other or walling themselves off to the point where you have like 10 countries in the world and there's no international trade, there's no like traveling, there's no import export. It's like 10 self-sustained nation states throughout the world. And that's kind of like the scenario that they're in. And they're all trying to attack each other. So they're all trying to send like viruses and pandemics into the other countries. And so the scientific community in each of these countries, they are trying to create vaccine and cures for the pandemics that are coming in while also creating new viruses to send out to other countries. And so my movie takes place kind of 10 years into this future. Main character, or one of the main characters, is played by The Rock, who's going to play a nerdy scientist, which is completely miscast, and they're not going to explain this at all. They're just going to play him straight as if, like, I'm scientist man. Um, and so their plan is they're going to get back at China. And so what they're realizing is that their attempts so far is that when they attack other countries, you attack like the periphery and it doesn't get a lot of traction. And then like the scientists in that country, like, get the cure out, get the vaccines out and everything's fine. And so they want to put together a crack team to go deep into the heart of China and release it at like the optimal place so that the virus really like takes holds and spreads. And so this is like a reverse heist movie where you got to put a team together to sneak into the country, release a virus. And so The Rock has to assemble a team of Chinese Americans who can look like they're part of the country and sneak in. And Hollywood doesn't really care about the distinction between Korean, Japanese, and Chinese, so I didn't really worry about that too much in my casting. So my cast is Aquafina, BD Wong, Randall Park, and Simu Liu.
So the only 4 Asian actors in Hollywood.
I didn't do Ken Jeong. I didn't do
Oh.
Glenn from Walking Dead. There's a few others. I had to make some choices. So basically, the movie is like, you have your, putting the team together, putting the plan like an Ocean's 11 type thing. And then the twist comes when they sneak into the country and they find out that The Rock is actually the scientist who created COVID-19 and then secretly released it in China and blamed China. And then the other 4 have to like take down The Rock while they're in China and while also, telling the world about the truth. And that's my movie.
Cool
So
twist.
do they have to ever like physically fight The Rock?
I thought about that, which is why I had to cast Simu Liu as like at least one action person, because I don't see Randall Park and Aquafina taking on The Rock.
I mean, Randall Park could go. What's the oh my god, the guy who he was in is he Indian? What's his name? He's in a Marvel movie now. He's in Eternals.
Oh,
And he
Kumail
got
Nanjiani.
jacked. Kumail Nanjiani. Randall Park could pull one of those.
I'm thinking there's going to be a part where like everyone thinks The Rock is like some unsuspecting scientist, and they're like, "Oh, we'll gang up," not acknowledging that he's like a gorilla-sized human being at all. And then like when they think they have the upper hand on him, he just like ripped. So he's wearing like a white coat like a scientist, even though that wouldn't make sense. And he just rips the sleeves off the coat, and he has like the big muscles. And then they're like, "Oh no!"
He's ripped.
Oh no, he's been The Rock the whole time.
He just takes off his glasses and it changes his whole person, like his whole look.
Does he give the people's eyebrow too?
You'll have
Yeah.
to.
Nice.
That's intricate. That's like an M. Night Shyamalan level twist in
Yeah.
He features prominently here.
it.
So how does it end? Does he like take him down and then world peace, or?
We'll say that they have to defeat him because that's how movies end. You got to get the bad guy, but then you got to open it up for like the next one. And what's the dumbest thing that could happen? Oh, it's
The
revealed
Rock's
that
assistant. Oh, okay.
no, The Rock he has a twin, and now he has to avenge their deaths.
And it's Dave Bautista.
Full
He should already
circle.
be signed contract like before the sequel's even created.
It goes back to like the lab of scientists, and it's like Dave Bautista, John Cena, Sylvester Stallone. They're all wearing like
They're all
glasses.
scientists.
It's like the Expendables.
So going back to the Asylum, the movie studio that I brought up before, where they make all these stupid movies. There's one called Nazis at the center of the Earth, where there's a scientist guy in that movie who's played by the really really dumb guy from Starship Troopers. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about. He's like a Stonehenge head type guy. He's like, what's his name? Hold on, bear with me.
I'm also looking this up because I'm curious.
He talks like he's like surfer dude.
Jake Busey? Busey?
Jake.
Oh.
Yes, no, that's him. Oh, he's related to Gary.
Is
Busey.
he
Yes.
in Contact too? That guy.
He's
the
Gary
guy who,
Busey's
like-
son.
Yeah.
Jake Busey. Yes, it's him. Yes. So that guy, is he in Contact?
I believe so. Yeah, I think he's the guy who like he's like the hippie that like suicides himself.
Oh,
Yes, he
okay.
is.
Okay. Well, yeah, he's like hey, like kind of doofus, like cool big guy. Yeah, but he's like supposed in this stupid movie, he's supposed to be like some really smart scientist, and it's just so weird, like seeing his dumb face talking about like science. And I feel like this is gonna be like John Cena, Sylvester Stallone. Not that they're dumb. Sorry, guys. I know you're listening. Yeah, that's the vibes that I get.
All right, well, we will end off the episode there. And as not as we usually do, but as we used to do on this show, we will end off by talking about the movies that we are looking forward to coming out soon. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'm looking forward to Gunpowder Milkshake, starring Karen Gillan, who plays Nebula in all of the Marvel movies. There's Paul Giamatti is also in it. Michelle Yeoh, Lena Headey. What's her name? Cersei from Game of Thrones. It sounds like a stylized. It sounds like a similar plot to The Professional, Leon, where like Karen Gillan is a hit woman, like elite hit woman who has to protect a little girl against all these bad guys. And I am expecting John Wick / nobody type action, but with some funny, cool style, because I feel like the vibe or the tone is going to be very different, a little more silly and fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
You talked about Shoot 'em Up earlier, and that was kind of the vibe I got from that trailer.
Yes. I actually haven't seen Shoot 'em Up, but sorry, I haven't seen the trailer for Gunpowder Milkshake. I have seen Shoot 'em Up, but
Also, Smoking Aces, it reminded me of that too.
Okay.
Great
Okay.
film.
It only adds to my excitement.
I'll go next. I'm going to change my last minute opinion here and going back to my original one. I am looking forward to Annette, which is a musical, and I hate musicals. We did our movies that we're most looking forward to for 2021 earlier this year, so I was doing some research, and this one came up on a lot of like top lists. It's filmed by a French director named Leo Carax, who did interesting movie in the past called Holy Motors, which I still don't understand what was it about, but I was interested by it. It also stars Adam Driver. It has all the hallmarks of something that I wouldn't like, but the trailer came out and looked very interesting. And so between that and Adam Driver, who's one of my favorite actors, and like Leo Carax is like he's done some interesting stuff in the past. I'm looking forward to it purely from the perspective of it's different, and I haven't seen, maybe I don't know, like I haven't watched that many musicals, so maybe it's exactly like stuff that's out there, but I feel like I'll get something different whether I like it or not. So that's coming out in August. That's what I'm looking forward to.
+1 for Adam Driver.
Cool.
Yeah, that looks good too. I'm probably gonna want to watch that one as well. Mine is old. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. So I'm gonna try and look past that and hope for the best. I like his earlier stuff, but I don't like his obviously later stuff. It's pretty bad. But this one's based on a novel, so I'm hoping that's gonna make it better. I like the storyline. It's basically just about a family that goes on a beach, and they somehow there's like this mysterious phenomenon that makes them age, all the way to their death within a day. So they live their entire life all within a day. So it looks like a cool concept. I don't know how this is going to be delivered, but just based on the synopsis, I would totally go and watch it. So yeah, totally up my alley.
I agree that the premise is super interesting. I just worry about the execution. But there's, a lot of potential.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's M. Night Shyamalan. There's probably gonna be a twist, which I mean, he doesn't make terrible films. It's just sometimes it just doesn't land really well. There's always usually a good concept. It doesn't always land, but if this one lands, it could potentially be a really good film. So yeah, I'm hopeful.
Yeah, so I guess I'm last. So I'm probably the most boring pick, but Space Jam 2 is what yeah. No, I mean, I love the first Space Jam. I watched that like a long time ago when I was a kid, and it was great. And I'm just curious to see how well like LeBron James can act, because just because he's a really good athlete doesn't mean he can act. But I'm just very curious to see how he like executes on that. So that's one. And two, it's just it's the nostalgia really, which I'm just looking forward to. So I just love that movie growing up. So it's nice to see kind of a modernized remake of it. Although I realize, that's kind of, that lands differently for different people. Like, because, some people feel like, there's, Michael Jordan was the OG and you shouldn't redo it. But I don't know. I'm just curious to see how it's going to be done. And if it's going to, if LeBron James is going to be a really shitty actor, if he's going to develop a new skill.
I don't know if you've seen Bridesmaids, but if that's any indication, he's probably one of the better NBA actors out there.
Was he in Bridesmaids, or are you thinking of Trainwreck?
Oh shit, Trainwreck. Oh my god, I think I'm drunk. Yeah, Trainwreck. I'm talking about Trainwreck.
I was going to say, based on his on-court performance, he looks like a pretty good actor. So.
Okay.
And I'm actually a big LeBron fan, but
I know, which is funny.
Hey, he gets calls.
So yeah, that means it works.
Yeah, exactly. Again, means he's a good actor, I guess.
Let's hope it translates to Space Jam 2. I'm looking forward to Don Cheadle in that movie.
Yeah, me too, actually. I was Googling that.
All right, well, that's it for our show. Nick, Mena, thanks for stopping by, and tune in again next month.